Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Story number 1. Removing the Terrans mask, written by Carl Bynes. Humans always seemed so standard to the galaxy. Yes, there were more prevalent oddities that they had. Their erratically funny being has always been refreshing. But other than that, they were simply there. Humans. It was at that point that only a few select trusted, or in a few cases despised, beings got to see more. When it all started, when everything fell apart, that was when the rest of us started to see it. These humans, they'd been a bit like a reassuring constant, never necessarily feeling safe with them, but with what they were. The war changed it. It changed them so much. They had been involved in wars, and that chaotic energy, it helped, to say the least. Here was a difference, though. The other wars were, one could even say, respectful, at least as much as a war could be. This one wasn't. Every screen was filled with the images, the videos that stay with us today, the memories that couldn't be removed with any drug, the nightmares that wouldn't leave. We tried to stop them, both in the war and what they showed, but we couldn't. They breezed past any possible holdout, slowly slavering that feeling of victory they got with every single ship, every planet, every species. If we had to guess, for every soldier, there was probably another dedicated to just the videos, the images, the audio. Oh, the audio. They won that war. They maybe did, but they won it. They broke us all, slowly. Steadily, every race crumbled. The problem was, humans don't crumble. They shatter. For the humans, it wasn't slow. It just hit a point, like a glass on the edge of a table. Eventually, it falls, and my God, did they fall. The humans to most had always been these polite, fairly steady things, as individuals differing, but throughout all of them in a general theme. Confidence that tethered between normal and stupid levels, a refreshing perspective on all your issues, a constant shoulder to lean, cry, or even ride on top of. After the first videos began to be shown, it was when they started to fall. Some simply stopped, slowly sinking like a rusted ship. Some disappeared to some distant edge of the galaxy still yet to be found. Some left the galaxy in a different way, a more permanent exit. If you lived with a human for a little while every day coming home, you had authorities on standby. Eventually, all of them lost their battle. Those that wished to leave did, leaving no trail as they left to make a new home. The empty ones were taken care of. We tried to help them so hard, but they never came back. The last ones that remained saved us. They saved us in not an erratic struggle or a heroic last stand. They did it in a steady, burning fire, using themselves as lighter fuel. They destroyed planets, stars, themselves, all so that we could live. They left their homeworlds for us, for those they sent millions upon millions, and in inches they took them back for us. Even the dead species, throwing themselves into the flames just for their memory. I was there for their last fight. Every last warship, fighter, fecking cargo ship, they gathered in Alconip, the first system that had fallen. Every last human that was combat capable loaded onto ships. They didn't let us go with them. You could see it behind their eyes. They weren't even alive anymore. They were ghosts looking for closure. When they jumped, they collapsed the jump lane, and then the system on the other side before continuing onwards. It wasn't foolproof, but it was all that we could do. The humans took off their masks for us. They took them off to save us, with them ripping out every limit, every rule, and every precaution that they made to keep themselves and us safe. They fell apart and made ramshackle repairs to the wreckage so that we wouldn't have to go as far as they did. I don't know if I would have wanted to be saved if this was the cost. We all look at the stars in the night, looking for signs that maybe they'll be back. Those few humans that aren't the same, just wander aimlessly. Should humans ever be found again, should you ever be lucky enough to find some with their mask intact, protect them, protecting that thing with all that you can, because once they as a species reach that point, they don't turn back. End of story. Story number 2. There Shall Be Peace, written by Wolf21342. There shall be peace, an ancient writing on a worn-down monument in one of our oldest cities. I write these lines during the last days of the Federation. I record them with no hope of survival, so that any historians in the future may study our mistakes, and so that they do not repeat them. Galactic Federation. Some think it quaint that we did not do away with the old name and our state. But through our long history, we have had a chance to realize that certain names carry their own kind of weight, especially in diplomatic relations with other powers. After all, if your preferred strategy is to offer protection to your minor neighbors, it sounds much better when the proposal is coming from the most democratic and serene sacred federation of all galactic species than the Imperium of Blood and Glory. It is also why our ships were white since the time we left the planet for the first time. With modern technology, there is no particular reason to increase their visibility this way. But it was, and it remains, a symbol of peace and good intentions. I don't particularly know why that is, nor do I particularly care, but it remains a useful tactic. I have no illusions. Ours was a brutal, expansive empire that only accepted subjugation. Our ships were warships, our methods were insidious, but we did manage to maintain a good reputation outward-facing. For a while, we expanded using a tried-and-true tactic: pay off a small group of pirates to attack any newly discovered race with the left hand, and send the ships to rescue the people they attacked and destroy the pirates with the right, then offer an alliance and protection to the decimated forces. Some martial races will not simply accept our superiority after that, so we challenged their champions to a simple, fair fight, one-on-one, and inevitably defeated them. Either way, the allies would then receive a steady stream of advisors that would help and uplift them afterwards, keeping up the charade until they were ready for a full subjugation. We spread this way from our homeworld until we reached a dark patch. We recoiled there from the dead suns and destroyed systems. A dark spot, impassable by FTL, impossible to conquer and hold and devoid of life. We recoiled because we recognized it from our oldest legends. A part of the sky that burned brighter than our sun, burned and died, and never to return. We recoiled, but that did not stop us from trying to conquer the last race remaining in the area, the Reds. Their name wasn't Reds, but we named them so as they were weird penchant for the color. They lived in a cluster of systems lit by various types of red suns, on planets that were always red in coloration. What name they give themselves was never my concern, nor something I wanted to remember. What I have to remember is that they defeated the pirates that we have thrown at them. They defeated and actually destroyed our champions, even though that was supposed to be impossible. They brought the war to us in ways we did not understand and could not replicate. With their swift attacks, they disrupted our commerce and supply lines, preying on any ship in white. Soon, it came to pass that only black ships of various less savory types delivered food to our frontier and took whatever they wanted in exchange. The Reds made us suffer, and that we could not abide. We glassed their main planet when they tried to run. We glassed any planet they ran to. We destroyed a fair number of our own subjugated worlds when they rebelled in hunger rights, all in the name of our hurt pride. Their worlds burned, owls starved, and smugglers prospered. Then our real enemy has showed itself, suddenly and without warning, coming out of the dead, dark patch. Where our ships were Baroque, columnesque temples in space, meant to project the image of a great empire, but never under that name, for we are a federation. Theirs were almost brutally functional slabs of metal. Where our ships were white as snow, theirs were more ashen, almost sickly green. They ordered everyone in the field to cease fire. They said that they had come in the name of peace. They presumed to pass abjuration on us all. I've been told that the admiral in charge of the situation hesitated for no less than 10 heartbeats before ordering fire on the newcomers into the conflict. He could do no less, for our bride was already wounded and would not bear another challenge. I've been told so by the only survivor the newcomers allowed, one that was being delivered to our homeworld to restate the message. Cease fire, surrender, prepare to be judged. We come in the name of peace, and there shall be peace after we are gone. This is when we realized that our enemy had a name straight out of antiquity, a name pregnant with meaning. Of old, they named themselves Earth United Navy, the peacekeeping expeditionary force of the humans, Terra, Sol. They are the ones that have burned the Dark Patch. They now burn us for the crimes we committed, for they have judged us and found us wanting. They will restore peace to the galaxy like they have done many times before, and they never were afraid for it to be peace of the grave. Across our sector, they have a new name, one of ungraciously foisted on them. We named them the Deathwolder, after a very old nursery rhyme of our world. From Terra they shall come, with a fleet of ashen grey, death and terror of their world they shall bring to you all. We really should have remembered. There shall be peace was never just a lofty statement, it was a warning. Do remember our deeds and our ultimate fate, lest you are to be next. From the private diary of His Holiness, Supreme and Sacred Leader of the Federation, last known entry. End of story. Just a quick shout out to the T5 peeps. Bob the Dragon, Cat Crab Lobster, Data Magnet, Dark Machine, Bezic, Try Again 95, Fudic Yol, Astrea the Dreamer, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Athelia, Meridian 117, and Jordan Bucksmorm. Thank you very much. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There are links down below, both to support this channel and for the author of this fiction. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.